The combination of hours spent cycling and time sat down can lead to very tight hips. Well, with that in mind, we're going to be covering some general mobility exercises with extra focus on the hip area. And the best part is you don't need any equipment. Just make sure you're warm and you go into these exercises gently, and you should just go until you feel the stretch and then try and relax in that position, remembering to breathe throughout. Right, start off with a very simple upright stretch for the trunk. Take a big breath in and raise your arms up above your head. Then interlink your fingers and stretch up before holding onto alternate wrists, pulling gently across until you feel the stretch down the side of your trunk. Come back to the midline in between each, and then once you've done either side, if you're feeling comfortable, add in a bit of a back bend to open up the front of your chest. With slightly soft knees, fold at the hips and bring your hands towards the ground. If you can't reach the floor, don't worry, just add a little bit more of a knee bend. And you should start to feel a stretch down the back of your legs. Just relax there for a moment and then pop your hands on the floor and step backwards with your feet until you get into the downward dog position. Now for this, imagine you've got a perfect hinge at your hips. So it should be a straight line from your hands up to your hips and then a straight line back down from your hips to your heels. Try and imagine you're pulling your hips up towards the sky. And now, once you've perfected this position and you're comfortable, focus on pushing your weight through your fingers and down through your heels. And then gently alternate a slight knee bend so you're focusing on pushing the opposite heel down to the ground, which should generate a stretch through the calf. Right, staying in the downward dog position, bring one foot through to between your hands. You want to try and have a roughly 90-degree angle at your ankle and at your knee. And then with the back foot, you can come off slightly onto your toes, whatever feels comfortable, but this should put you into the lunge position. From here, take a breath in, and then once you've got your balance, lift both your arms up above your head, stretching up and trying to open the front of your hip. Try and hold this position and then gently drop the hip towards the ground. To add a deeper stretch to the hip flexor, make a mini trunk bend away from your back leg. And then place both hands back onto the ground, return the front leg back behind you and resume that downward dog position. Have a moment to stretch and relax before repeating the same movement on the other side. Now repeat the beginning of the movement, so back into the lunge position, and this time we're going to add in some rotation. So start off with your left hand on the ground if you're using your right leg forwards, and then with your right arm lift it up towards the sky so you're opening up your chest. And then if you're comfortable with this, bring your arm back down, and if you want a bit more rotation, try placing your left elbow onto your knee and then put your hands together like this, and that can add in that extra trunk rotation. Now it's really important for these exercises because you're using your ribs. Make sure that you keep breathing throughout the whole movement. And again, come back to the normal lunge, back into downward dog, and then repeat on the other side. Okay, it's time to sit down. And we're going to look at glutes, and I've got a couple of alternatives here. But this first one I find is a fail-safe for really getting that stretch. So you're going to start off by lying down with your knees bent, feet flat on the floor, and then taking one leg and popping your ankle across in front of your knee, just on your thigh here. And then with your hands, you're going to thread them around behind this thigh. And from there, you're just going to gradually roll back, pulling that leg towards you, and you should start to feel a stretch in that glute already. If you don't feel a stretch when you're lying down like this, then you can just try and pull it slightly closer by lifting your head and pulling your hands towards you, and that should really start to feel a nice stretch. And if you need more, you can actually use this elbow to try and push the far knee out a little bit. Just adds a bit more rotation. Okay, for an alternative that isn't so much purely glutes, but it does work your glutes, and it's also a lot of rotation. Start off by imagining you're going to cross your legs with your bottom leg, so just put it underneath you like this with your knee facing pretty much forwards, and then the spare leg, you're going to pop your heel or your ankle over that knee like this, so you're sort of twisting yourself. And then from here, you're going to pop this elbow over your opposite knee, and then you can just gradually start to rotate, and you should start to feel a nice stretch through here, but also you'll feel a bit of a stretch on the other side. Make sure you keep your body nice and upright. You should feel a good rotation through your spine, and then keeping your head in line with your torso just start to push that rotation around, making sure that you continue to breathe. Okay, back into sitting, and this is a really nice hip opener. So you're just going to pop the soles of your feet together so they're touching. And you can hold on to them to start with, just to secure that position, and then let your knees just relax out to the side. And once you've got this position, just make sure you're keeping good posture so you're staying nice and upright. And if you want to add a little bit of an extra stretch, hold on to your feet or your ankles, and then just put a little bit of pressure down through your elbows, out through your knees, just to help the stretch. To finish off, this is one of my favorites, probably because it involves lying down. So start off with your knees bent and your feet flat on the ground, arms out to either side, and then drop your knees to one side together, and you should start to feel a stretch down the side of your torso. And then to really make it a full body rotation, turn your head in the opposite direction. And if you still want more stretch from here, you can take your top leg further over and actually add a little bit of pressure with that arm just to add that rotation. And if you are actually stretching with a partner, this could be a great chance to get them to help with the stretch. So ask them to put a little bit of downward pressure on the opposite shoulder and opposite hip, just adding slightly to that rotation. Right, these exercises obviously work for me, but all of us have different bodies with different areas of tightness. So use this as a bit of a guide and work out what's best for you. If you want to catch all of our videos, just hit the globe to subscribe. And if you want some ideas on how to use a foam roller to help with your stretching, we've made a video on that just here. And if you want some more exercises for general strength and conditioning for beginners, that's just here.